welcome to Dualshock'd, the Brotherhood of Geeks PlayStation podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Brett J. Rasmussen, and over here I got my other co-host,
Spectre.
Yay! What's up, Spectre?
What's up?
What up, dude? How you been doing, man?
Good. I've been barreling through Fallen Order.
Oh, nice. Yeah, like we weren't we didn't have a thing last. We weren't here. We weren't able to even be here last week because of the goddamn
School was canceled. We had a snow day.
Yeah, I know, right? No, it's stupid snowstorm. God dang. Oh man, it's
joy of being in the Midwest.
Yeah. Like it's the winter apparently doesn't start until like mid-January or February. Like
the way
this year,
I justify it, like, at least it's so cold here that like everything, like all the creepy crawlies are just killed here. Like we never have to worry about seeing a gator in our toilet or something like that.
Yeah.
Like everything's too fucking cold here to like actually like live.
So then why are we here?
I mean, honestly, I'm one of those weird people that I don't mind the cold. I just hate snow.
Oh, I'm just a literal walking furnace. So like,
you got plenty of like blubber going for you. Like you can
you ain't
jump
wrong.
in. Yes, I mean you're good. You're good to go. But yeah, for me, I don't mind the cold so much. I just hate snow. So
oh, jeez, it's just
yeah. So that's why we had to kind of shift our plans.
Yeah, I wish that like without the snow that'd be great. But like, man, what can you do?
My last update, I finished Medieval. I platinumed that.
Great.
And
Great game, right?
I loved it. Yeah, I absolutely love it. I will admit that nostalgia goggles are full on tilt for me there because if it's your first time playing it, you might think it's a little rough. And you have to understand it's a PlayStation 1 game.
And we have talked about this before, and like with that game, the developers very much wanted to make this game feel like it came from that time, for better and for worse.
And it feels like an authentic PlayStation 1 experience, for better and for worse. But yeah, so played for that, really enjoyed it. Basically, at this point, I'm about 90% done with Fallen Order. I've gotten all the collectibles and crap, and I'm just kind of wrapping things up right now. So I probably will be done within the next, 2 or 3 more hours of gameplay. So I'm pretty much done, ready to move on.
So just for quick, because I've talked about it. You
did like a review on it, right?
It was part of our Game of the Years. It was part of our nominations. It was part of our nominations for Game of the Year of 2019. And we did talk about it, and I think it was great. It definitely is the best Star Wars game that I've played in years.
I took a couple of notes. I mean, obviously,
yeah.
I have a little bit different of a take on
now,
it. I mean,
do you have any spoilers in your notes?
Not really. No.
Okay. I just want to make sure because I want to make. If you do, I want to try to make it spoiler.
It's a lot of generalities and stuff like that. So it's very spoiler friendly.
Okay.
But I basically just my grand conclusion was, it's sort of mediocrity to the game. I mean, nothing was really horribly bad about it, but nothing was really outstandingly good about it. It's like the quintessential 6 or 7 out of 10 type of game where it's very milquetoasty, it's very bland.
I wouldn't say bland.
Very forgettable. I feel like I'm gonna forget this game after about like a month from now.
Okay.
I was trying to think of like ways to make this more interesting. I wish they would have made, because this all comes back to the main character of Cal. I think because he's just so generic. I understand they were kind of trying to make him sort of a blank slate, so you could kind of be the character avatar that you kind of role play through in a way.
Yeah.
I just wish they would have done something more interesting with him. I mean, you could have done so many different things with this character. Like, one of the ideas I had is, this isn't a spoiler, it's part of the game. You're a Jedi that survived the purge of Order 66. Maybe make him have like a character flaw where he's paranoid. Maybe it's difficult for him to trust people.
And you had that in the beginning, but like
really,
he
joins this crew. He just kind of like, oh hey, it's like we've always been best friends. But it just seems like it just makes something like an interesting dynamic for him to go through. The collectibles in the game are just kind of random thoughts I had. The collectibles, I wish they would have made them more meaningful. I mean, the customization is kind of nice and cute to play dress up. I just wish they would have been a little bit more impactful. Yeah, like I said, a lot of it's just kind of average. Combat was okay. The RPG elements aren't good. They're not bad. They feel like they have a meaningful impact on gameplay, but they're not like really well thought out and nuanced. one thing I had a gripe with this game is the different planets you go to. They're these large sprawling maps, which is good. I mean, there's a lot of content to the game, but God, trying to navigate your way through them like a second or third time on these planets is annoying. I wish they had like some kind of waypoint system. I'm not the only one to make this critique, but a waypoint system would have been kind of nice.
I actually do not mind that. I actually do, like, yes, I will tell you, because, like, especially when I finished the game, in order for me to get the plat and get all the collectibles, I had to do the same thing, and it did suck, where, like, I have to go back, and I'm like, okay, what did I pick up, what did I not pick up, and there is no fast travel, and I go, all right, I want to get to this section, so I understand the gripe, but I actually do like it in the context of the game, because of you when you're sent to that planet, like, it is a game mechanic that, like, it is, honestly, I understand your gripe, because it's a game mechanic that is kind of now so synonymous with with these action RPG
it's
kind of games.
Like, it's now,
but I like it that they took it out. I actually like it that, like, these maps are big. These maps are definitely big, especially depending on the planet. Like Kashyyyk, I think Zaffo is like the biggest one.
I mean, there in its defense, there are kind of a lot of landmarks to go off of to some degree, but it's just like it kind of became like annoying. I spent like an hour in one spot trying to figure out how the hell do I get back to this one spot that I was at before. And so it was kind of an annoyance. But like I said, it's hard to conjure up any kind of strong emotions one way or another with this game because it's just so average.
The only thing that I don't want to go into spoilers, but you have beaten the game. The one part where I was like, oh my god, yes, was the final level. And you know what I'm talking about. It's the final level.
I haven't played the final level yet.
It's my favorite part. It's my favorite part in the entire game. Like, it is.
I don't think it's going to redeem the 30 hours.
I'm not saying it might not, but I will say for me that final level, like when it's like, all right, we're here. This is happening. We're at the final part. This is it. The best part of the entire game. Hands down. But I'll leave it at that. Like, and if you've beaten the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, finish it, beat it, and then let us know in the comments about what you thought about that final level. It's so good. So good.
But yeah, I like to say it really is just mediocrity of the game. It's kind of my review. It's very average. I think it's worth playing for just a little side distraction, a little bit of fun. Yeah, I think if you can get it on sale at a cheaper price point, yes. I don't think this is a day one purchase or a full price purchase. For full disclosure, I basically got the game for free because it was a gift. Okay. It was not a game I was intending to buy just for myself. But yeah, if you can get it for cheap or for free, then give it a shot. But I just think it was very bland. And honestly, if I wasn't a trophy hunter, I think I probably would have put it down by now.
Honestly, I disagree with you. If we look at the game in a vacuum, yes, I would probably say it's a very much a 3, like a 3.5 out of 5, like a 3.5 out of 5 game. It's definitely good, average, like good average game. Like that's where I would put it down in the scale. But I think the reason why people are talking about this game more is not because of the game itself, because I do agree that Cameron Monaghan does a fantastic job of portraying Cal to the best of his ability, and I give him props for that. And I think the actors who played their characters
I'll let you finish your thought, but I have a question for you about the game.
Okay. Cameron Monaghan and the rest of the cast who play the main characters do a great job of portraying the characters. I think Stig Asmussen, who was the game director for this, did a great job of heading this and kind of going with, like, I love the gameplay mechanics of that, like, third-person action style that we've kind of been, like, the Souls-esque style of gameplay where, like, if you die when you respawn, you have to go back to where you died to get all of your experience back. Because we're seeing that now in more games like Darksiders, God of War.
And as an aside, that's one thing I would kind of sort of praise for this game is that it does kind of take elements of the Souls formula and make it more accessible and more balanced, I think,
and
than an actual
and
Souls
like
game.
it makes you feel like when you are progressing through the game, like I will definitely say when like earlier in the game, when you don't really have a lot to your arsenal, you feel outnumbered. Like there were a lot of times in the early game where I'm like, oh my god, how the heck, like running away may have been a better option or whatever. But like what I do like is in the level progression, when you start getting powers, when you get the double bladed lightsaber, when you get more force powers and all of that, you feel awesome. You feel like a badass when you are starting to like, oh, you can just kill multiple stormtroopers and enemies and stuff like that. Like it makes you feel powerful as a Jedi, and it does a really good job of telling its story. Is it one of the best Star Wars stories? No, there have been better Star Wars stories, but the reason why I think people are talking about this the most now is not because of the game itself. We look at the game in the vacuum, as I said, 3.5 out of 5. But the reason why people are talking about this more is honestly, we've been asking for this ever since 2013, or even before then, ever since the Disney acquisition and then Disney passed it off to EA. We've been asking for this. Battlefront 1 didn't give us that. Battlefront 2 gave us a 4-hour campaign that really didn't matter. And then it's up until now that that Battlefront 2 is finally like a really good game.
I think it's sort of the it stands out because I agree with elements of what you're saying. I think it stands out because it's even being a mediocre game, I think it still rises above what's been mostly a series of progression of trash and a whole lot of nothing for the last 10 plus years in the Star Wars universe. So it's kind of, a crude example. If you have a 6 out of 10 looking woman and you surround her with 2 out of 10s, all of a sudden that 6 out of 10 looks like the prom queen. Because
definitely underlying crude.
Yeah, because it's true though. There is this sort of an effect of like this rises to the top because it's
surrounded by garbage.
Yeah, it's surrounded by garbage. Yeah,
like. If you gave me, I would put it more like this. If you gave me like a burger that was hand cooked, made, and like just you have lettuce and ketchup and mustard, and like it's just nicely crafted, like a burger from like a sit down restaurant looks better than a burger from McDonald's. If you put a bunch of $1 cheeseburgers around a $8 Angus beef good-looking burger, you're gonna look at that burger and go, I want that instead of the garbage around it.
Take an average, Red Robin burger, which is not that good, and then you put that and you surround it by a bunch of crappy, $1
McDonald's
burgers, and all of a sudden, that burger looks really good. And that's sort of the effect that's happening here. But I think one of the other points I was going to ask about, or questions I had for you, was,
yes.
Do you feel like this game does anything really unique with the Star Wars license? I feel like when I played this game, I felt like I could see this being you could take any license and attach it to this. Like I felt like you could take Magic the Gathering and attach it to this. You could take and you're playing as a planeswalker. Or you could take almost any license, Star Trek, throw it at this game. It doesn't do anything uniquely Star Wars. I think it wastes its license.
I would agree with you up until the final part. The end game feels like Star Wars. Like, you're not wrong. Like, it has the navigation like Uncharted, but Uncharted does their navigation better.
You're not just saying this because, and this is not a spoiler because he's in the commercials. You're not just saying this because Darth Vader's in the game.
Oh God, I didn't even know that was in the commercial.
It's in the fucking commercial.
Son of a...
Are you literally just saying this just because Darth Vader shows up? Is that all it takes to be a Star Wars?
No. Like, he does show up, but it's the way he shows up. It's the way. I'm not going to go further than that. When he pimps in, I lost my mind. And the way it happens is the coolest thing I've seen in Star Wars in a very long time. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Because I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to. For you, maybe not for you. I don't know, but I don't want to spoil it for them either.
I guess so. And actually, that's sort of an echo of I think, not to get off a rant on Star Wars, but the sequel trilogy I think has largely wasted the original characters. The sequel movies, but I think one of the reasons why Rogue One was popular because it had a famous cameo from, once again, Darth Vader, and it was well received. So it kind of rises to the top because it was mediocre, but it's better than the other crap that's been received. So yeah, so in summation of this game, I think it's terrible? No. Do I think it's great? Definitely not. I hope that we do see a sequel to this. I will say this in praise of it. I hope we do see a follow-up to this. I hope it takes a few more risks. I hope it actually tries to weave a story that maybe has a little bit more nuance to it. Maybe gives the players a little bit more choice.
I hope so, and I think like this game sold really well, and this proves EA wrong in every way. That's why I recommend everyone to go buy this, regardless if it's on sale or not. It's a good game. It's like, as I said, 3 out of 5 is not bad. That is not a bad game. 3 out of 5 is an average game. 3.5. That's a 6 or 7 on the 10 scale, but we are using a 5 scale. That's why. So I recommend buying this game also because it's
at a deep discount.
No.
Definitely not a full price purchase. But I will say one of the other kind of shocking things about this game is kind of what they didn't do. I do give them credit for two things. I give them credit for not really leaning so much on the original trilogy. Like I said, we have Darth Vader, but for the most part, we don't see fucking the Millennium Falcon popping up or Boba Fett stopping by to say hi or anything like that. It does kind of its own thing, so I give it credit for that. It's kind of it references more so the prequels than anything. So I give it some degree of credit for that. But one of the shocking things about this game for me was, we have to remember this is coming from EA as a publisher. Is it didn't seem
no microtransactions. No.
Well, that too, but which was kind of weird, and there's no DLC really planned for it.
And actually, the cool thing is this is part of the news, but they have now with the pre-order bonus, you got the orange color for your lightsaber, and then
just added for free.
Yeah. And 2 different hilts, which were only pre-order bonuses or part of the deluxe edition. Now in the most recent update, you just get them. They're just there.
And that was quick, 2 months into the game being released, basically.
Yeah.
But I am kind of surprised. This is, keep in mind, I know you're going to groan at the subject, but keep in mind, this is EA. This has been a company that's been overtly political. I am surprised that the game, it didn't feel like it was trying to bash me over the head with a political message or a diversity message. It does obviously have a fairly diverse cast to it, but the main character is it's about the whitest guy they could find. It's kind of surprising. This is for a company that is very overtly in your face about bashing you over the head with a political message. And I have to talk about that because EA brings up the subject.
That's an important thing to you, and that's fine. I'm not disagreeing with you. We have talked about this before on past episodes. We've talked about Battlefield 5 before, and I have agreed with you. It
seems like a weird level of restraint to some degree from them. I don't know.
For me, I look at it more of the they said they want to do single player narrative driven game, no multiplayer, no microtransactions, and that's what I got, and that's what I bought, and that's what I enjoyed. Yay! All right. Quickly for me, I have also platinumed that. I have actually been going back into Battlefront 2. That's what I.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, what have you?
Yeah, I've been going back into Battlefront 2. There was the holiday sale that PlayStation had that was after Christmas, and they extended it into mid-January. So for I think it was $17. Bought the celebration pack, so you get a bunch of stuff. And I've been playing Battlefront 2, and it's finally the game that I wanted.
I'm vindicated 2 years later.
I know, right?
It's I never thought it was people treated this like it was just death knell of games, but I think it
mind you, they rightly deserved it. But like, again, you and I have debated about this before. Like, they rightly deserve all of the crap that they got. But the problem, but the problem that we had is that you saw it for everything that was under the garbage that was on top with the microtransaction and the pay to win, and that's how leveling worked. But under it was a good game. Was like the gameplay mechanics and how it worked and how it operated was good.
And I think the microtransaction thing was overblown because it wasn't really a part of the game from day one. It was something that was really kind of nipped in the bud before it even really became a problem. So I think that whole aspect of it was kind of overblown, and it was kind of we have an outrage culture now where people just kind of they latch onto that and they go nuts. It's happened a lot, especially in video games.
Again, so I've been playing Battlefront 2, and I've kind of just been playing other stuff, and I'll be playing, I believe, in the coming week, Kingdom Hearts 3 is getting their DLC. Remind. So I'll be playing that when that comes out. So I don't know if we're going to be reviewing it, or if I'm going to be reviewing it, or not. I want to see if it's more of like an expansion, like The Witcher 3 expansions.
Is it going to actually give like a true ending to the game then?
Yeah, that's what they said. There's a lot of other endings, and now the Final Fantasy characters that were absent from Kingdom Hearts 3 are now going to show up. So that's going to be really cool. That's going to be nice. But yeah, so I mean, I've kind of been just playing a bunch of different stuff. I've also been watching Star Wars Rebels, which is great. I haven't watched that show, so I've been watching it on Disney Plus, and it's so good. I love it.
Good for you.
I'm aware.
But yeah, no. I think at this point I got to feel like I'll be done with Star Wars in another day or so, 2 years. So I got to kind of find something that tied me over until we hit Doom in March.
Yeah. Which let's go ahead and get into that. Let's go into
the news. Yeah.
News of the Nation. You just like it when I do that. You just get a kick out of it every time I do that. I literally only do that for you.
Not in the least, no.
That's a lie, because I see that smile on your face, Spectre. Anyway, all right, so let's begin. First, we have the Lord of the Rings Golem is coming to the PS5 and Series X.
Pretty sure it's Gollum.
Oh, Gollum? I thought I've been saying.
I'm a Lord of the Rings fan.
I'm aware. I do know that. All right, so let me go ahead and pull this up. There we go. This is coming from IGN. So
we apologize in advance.
We have to get our news sources somewhere. Daedalic Entertainment has reaffirmed that its action adventure game Lord of the Rings Gollum, right? Gollum. Will be coming to the next-gen consoles, including the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, alongside the PC in 2021. This is what the studio told Edge magazine for its February 2020 issue, which has a number of interviews with key developers that reveal the first new details of the game since its announcement back in March of 2019. For starters, Daedalic has set out to invent its own version of the main character, Gollum, rather than follow the look that Peter Jackson gave him in the movies. Quote, Tolkien didn't give a size reference for Gollum to begin with, art director Matthias Fisher said to Edge. So in the first illustrations, he's gigantic. He's like a monster emerging from the swamp. Daedalic hasn't yet revealed what Gollum would look like in the game. And then it kind of just continues going on more and more about all of the different details about it. But pretty much the reason why I'm bringing this up is that this is a game that is coming to the PS5 and Series X.
What do we know about this developer?
Daedalic, I honestly haven't heard of them.
That's kind of one of the key things is if you want to have any indication if a game is going to be interesting or enjoyable. The best, the classic line, the best indicator of future performance is past performance. So what have they done before?
That's what I'm looking into.
I will say off the bat, I do like the idea of kind of a post Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings, although I do love the Peter Jackson interpretation of Lord of the Rings. I like the idea of a game or a book or a story sort of doing its own thing. So is this their website?
Yeah, this is the website on all the games they did. Looks like a bunch of different indie games.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a big. Who knows?
Hey man, like mind you, Rocksteady when they did
yes,
Batman, they only had one game in their arsenal. They made Arkham Asylum, which is a highly lauded game.
Yeah, so, everyone has their first big break, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. That's definitely a more of a wait and see type of game.
Yeah, so like I wouldn't keep that out.
But I'm intrigued. I enjoy the Lord of the Rings universe. Gollum is an interesting character to focus a game or a narrative around.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be very. I'm very interested to see and excited to see what gameplay elements. Because if you're playing as Gollum, how is that going to work? Because like the Lord of the Rings games we've seen is the Shadow of War games. Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, which the gameplay of it is very has the combat of Batman and then the Nemesis system that they created,
which was a mechanic I enjoyed. I kind of am intrigued by the idea of playing as Gollum because I think you could do a lot of interesting things with it. Maybe have because he's a character of kind of these built-in flaws. He has sort of almost like an addiction, I guess you could say, to the ring. Mm-hmm. So I think that could be an interesting gameplay mechanic.
Yeah,
so we'll see how they
so I'm interested
how they
to see
interpret that.
Let's move on to next topic. This is going to be probably the thesis or the main thing
kind
of all the
related
news.
Series of topics.
So first we have first delay. Final Fantasy VII Remake has been delayed. This is a tweet coming from Final Fantasy VII Remake's own Twitter account. And this is from Yoshinori Kitase. I apologize if I said that wrong. He is the producer of Final Fantasy VII Remake. But in this statement, quote, "We know that so many of you are looking forward to the release of Final Fantasy VII Remake and have been waiting patiently to experience what we have been working on. In order to ensure we deliver a game that's in line with our vision and the quality that our fans who have been waiting for deserve, we have decided to move the release date to April 10th, 2020. We are making this tough decision in order to give ourselves a few extra weeks."
We don't have to even this is all like legalese marketing crap.
Oh, no.
Some intern wrote this.
Well, anyway, I'm still going to finish it. A few extra weeks to apply final polish to the game and to deliver you the best possible experience. On behalf of the whole team, want to apologize to everyone, as I know this means waiting for the game just a little bit longer. Thank you for your patience and continued support. Okay, now you can go ahead and rant and rave.
Yeah, so it's just a generic PR statement. This Cyberpunk delay, which we'll get to, that has a very similar PR statement. I don't put much weight or stock into those statements. But
April 10th is now the new release date, not
much
March. I think it was March 30th was the release date. I believe.
March.
It was like March.
Early March. I thought was the release date originally. But anyways, I think this seems like almost like a calculated move, like it's trying to avoid competition.
Yeah.
More so than anything, like it's like, let's push it back a little bit. Let's avoid, Doom and other things are coming. Animal Crossing.
No, I mean, is that also in that month?
It is, yeah.
Oh.
Doom.
Yeah, I know Doom, but
Animal Crossing
is
coming in March. So it feels like it's trying to avoid a crowded March and like let's push it back to April. And now, especially since Cyberpunk has been pushed back too, it's like, okay, now it's the one big pillar game in April that's coming out. So it seems more
Doom
of like
and Animal Crossing. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
in March.
April,
April. Yes.
So it feels like this is almost like a tactical kind of like switch. Like there was an audible at the last minute. Like, okay, let's push it back a month. That way we can avoid all this competition essentially.
And look, I'm honestly okay with,
because like what difference does less than a month make?
This pushback. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I'm okay with that. I don't see a problem.
I mean,
with that.
really, for this pushback and some of the others, I mean, we've waited so long for these games, anyways. That it's become like, well, whatever. Like, how long has it been since Final Fantasy VII Remake has been announced? How long has it been since I'm kind of tying in the next topic, Cyberpunk? Literally, 8+ years. Like, I mean, what difference is a few more months going to make, or a month in this case?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's kind of like a whatever at this point. It's not like it'd be a different story if it was like, okay, we're pushing this back to 2022. Or something like that. It would be like, whoa, okay, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The kind of moving into the next with the Cyberpunk delay being delayed to September, that one feels more so like we need more time to polish this game and actually get to a point where it's in a better spot. They said the game is playable in their statement for Cyberpunk. I'm kind of like just weaving that in. But I think that feels more like a delay that's meant for getting the game to a better state, whereas this feels more like a tactical sales delay.
Maybe. Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, come on, like what difference does a month make, really?
Yeah. I mean, again, yeah. With this going back like a month, maybe less than that, like that's. I'm okay with that.
I don't think they're going to change much drastic in a month. No,
it's again, it even says final polish and everything like that. So, this is probably the one. We're going to get into Cyberpunk in a little bit, but there's also been another delay, which is this. On to the next topic. It is that Marvel's Avengers has also been delayed. From Crystal Dynamics, from their own website.
You don't have to read the long statement. Like this is some intern that wrote this. This is not like a real statement.
I don't care. I'm still gonna read it. Don't matter. Still gonna do it.
Okay.
Anyway, to our fans at Crystal Dynamics, our ambition has always been to deliver the ultimate Avengers gaming experience. In order to achieve that goal, we have made the difficult decision to move the release date of Marvel's Avengers to September 4th of 2020. As fans ourselves, it's an honor and a privilege to work with these legendary characters, and we know that these superheroes mean to us and the true believers around the world. When we set out to bring you our vision for Marvel's Avengers, we committed to delivering an original story-driven campaign, engaging co-op, and compelling content for years to come. To that end, we will spend this additional development time focusing on fine-tuning and polishing the game to the high standards our fans expect and deserve. The worldwide teams working on Marvel's Avengers sincerely appreciate your support you've shown us. We thrive on your enthusiasm and feedback, and we can't wait to show you more. We apologize for the delay. We're confident it will be worth the wait. From Scott Amos and Ron Rosenberg, the co-heads of the studio, Crystal Dynamics. Are you done?
What?
Hey, Hulk, are you done? Like, wow.
I don't understand why you're reading for it.
Because it's news.
It's not news. It's boring legalese crap. It's like we're C-SPAN. We're just
Jesus Christ.
Just reading,
okay,
generic crap. Who cares? It's nothing of substance is in those statements.
All right, well, fine. Now you can talk because I'm done.
Like I said, I honestly, this one I'm sort of disappointed with because I want them to finish this game and move on to better games quickly. So the sooner
you do know that this the way that this is they want to make this.
I'm sure. Yeah,
game.
of course, I understand that. But it's like let's get this out, released, and let's move on with our lives. Of course they're gonna do some DLC crap for a while, but like move on to your next project. Like I could not care less about an Avengers game. This is gonna be even more mediocre of a game than Jedi Fallen Order. Let's just move on to like games where we can actually have fun with. Like, so just get out your generic garbage and let's move on for our lives, please.
Jeez. I mean, they're pushing it back to September. What may happen is because they want to make this game, they want to make it a live service game, which, okay, they will, like, with more multiplayer and stuff, this may be being pushed back to September for the PS5 and the Series X.
I think we're going to see a lot of that is an interesting point actually there. I think we're going to see a lot of kind of cross-generational games. I think we will see a version of this, that's maybe enhanced for PlayStation 5. We might see a version of Cyberpunk enhanced for PlayStation 5 or the next gen system. So I mean that is something that could possibly happen. We might see some cross-generational games here.
Yeah, so, I mean, I will say I haven't been shown enough of Avengers. Like, I'm excited for it, but I'm excited for, like, Cyberpunk more than that. I'm excited for Final Fantasy more than that. I'm excited for Darksiders Genesis more than that.
Honestly, I can't even think of what they could do to the Avengers game to make it exciting for
It's just they haven't shown us enough in order for me to get a better understanding of what this game is. Like, we saw at E3 last year of, like, we saw the I guess it was a demo. Like, I didn't even understand what it was because you're playing as all the different Avengers, but then they said that, like, you can play as other Avengers, like Ant-Man. They showed off, like, a trailer to play as Ant-Man and the multiplayer or the DLC or whatever it is. Like, I still don't understand what they mean by, like, so is this not a single-player game? Is it a live service game? Is it not? Is it a multiplayer game? Like, I don't understand what this game is. Like, I'm still a little bit confused about it. I know you don't care because you're not into comic book games.
I couldn't care less about this game. I just want them to move. It's a good developer behind it. A good studio. I want them to move on to better things.
All right. Well, let's move on. Next topic is that Cyberpunk 2077 has also been delayed. We have also another statement from Cyberpunk themselves. Quote, we have important news regarding Cyberpunk 2077's release date that we'd like to share with you today. And this is from CD Projekt Red's own Twitter account. Cyberpunk 2077 won't make the April release window, and we're moving the launch date to September 17th of 2020. We are currently at the stage where the game is complete and playable, but there is still work to be done. Night City is massive, full of stories, content, and places to visit, but due to sheer scale and complexity of it all, we need more time to finish playtesting, fixing, and polishing. We want Cyberpunk 2077 to be our crowning achievement for this generation, and postponing the launch will give us the precious months we need to make the game perfect. Expect more regular updates on progress as we get closer to the new release date. We're looking forward to see you in Night City. Thank you for your ongoing support. From Marcin Iwovisky, which is the co-founder, and Adam Badowski, who's the head of the studio. There you go. I'm back. Hello. I'm back.
Okay.
So
yeah, like I said, it's just I feel like this is more so about an actual substantial delay because they need to actually polish the game. They say it's in a playable state. It's just a matter of actually polishing this game and making it something that's not going to be a disappointment out of the gate. Yeah.
Now there is something that I have found out is that there is other articles that talk about Cyberpunk 2077. Let me quickly pull it up. But yeah, what do you think about this being delayed?
I think it's a good thing. I think it needs more time based on everything we're kind of finding out about this game. Like I said, it's a game I'm kind of conflicted about in a lot of ways, even though I'm very excited for it still. It's just I think it's a game that a lot of the news that's been coming out about it has been kind of it's been about downgrades more or less, about the map size, about the RPG elements being stripped away. If it needs more time to be polished and developed, by all means, push it back as much as you need. I mean, we've already waited 8+ years for this game. I mean, what difference is a few more months going to make?
Yeah. Sorry. I wanted to pull this up, but it looks like this is coming from Polygon. But in a call with the investors on this past Thursday, CD Projekt Red chief executive admitted the development crunch will still be necessary as CD Projekt Red brings this project to term. Adam Kaczynski answering, is the development team required to put in crunch hours? He answered, to some degree, yes, to be honest. He went on to say that we will try to limit crunch as much as possible, but it is the final stage. We try to be reasonable with this regard, but yes, unfortunately. And then it just kind of continues. The whole game is, so like there's going to be crunch that may be involved with completing this game. What do you think about that? Because crunch has kind of been, is another kind of a talking point that the video game industry, the video game media does talk about. And I kind of wanted to bring this up and discuss this with you. Like, what do you think about, like, crunch? At least, let's talk about it in this regard with Cyberpunk.
Like, what do you mean? Like, kind of like trying to rush games out? Like, in terms of, like, crunch time, like, at the end? Like, trying to...
Like, they're going to need, like, apparently, like, the game is playable, but it's not finished yet. And in order to do it, they may need to work crunch, meaning they will have to work overtime and over hours and go... we heard the stories of, like, developers going days without sleep or whatever. Like,
it's like every job. I mean, you're going to have times that are busier than others. I mean, like, my job is definitely like that. I have days where they're easy. I have days where it's like you're working 12 to 14 hours, or more. I think pretty much any job is like that. Okay. Do I envy? It's... Video games in development is kind of like a weird industry where it's like, at one hand, it's really cool, and it's kind of like almost a fantasy I think a lot of people have, is to work in that industry because you're doing these really cool things and you're making these really cool products. So it's sort of like a film industry. But at the same time, the downside to that is there's a lot of cons to it. I mean, the long hours, the not always great pay for what you're doing, depending on what position you're in. The fact that you're kind of immediately your job security is abysmal. Because for most of these companies, there's a tendency to just lay off whole development teams and staff, and think of all the developers we've lost over the years.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's really high highs and there's very low lows.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's an industry that I personally would like to be in as a result of that. No, I'd like to have a degree of job security.
Yeah.
But at the same time, would it be really cool? I like kind of like, I mean, for me, I almost like doing sort of like what we're doing. I like being adjacent to it, where it's like we're not necessarily like living and dying based off it, but we can still kind of comment on the industry. But I don't know. I feel for these people in some ways, but at the same time, it's like a lot of jobs are like that, and at the same time, also to these people that are kind of experiencing these long hours, stuff like that. At the same time, at least at the end, you have some degree of bragging rights. You can say, "Hey, I'm in the video game industry, and I made this cool product." So I mean, there's good and bad to everything.
Yeah, and I mean, again, Witcher 3 got delayed for 3 months, but they're pushing Cyberpunk back for 5 months. And he says that by adding it, let's see, with that said, the game is also detailed that polishing is just a complex task. It's about the number of things we have to take care of rather than some fundamental problems. So it's a lot of, they're making sure that the technical bugs in everything is done. And I am happy to say that he did say that he's gonna, because since he did go on to say that he wants to limit crunch as much as possible, but he does know that they cannot push it back anymore. They put a final release date, which was April, and now they have to push it back again. And this is the third time. At least
a lot of games go for this.
I know that. I understand
went for
that
this as well. So I like I said, I'd rather they just push it back as much as they need to make it actually.
No, and I agree. Look, I'm very much an understanding person where I'm like, if you need to push it back, even if they said it doesn't come out until, it would suck. It would suck if it comes out, like, let's say, for instance, they pushed it back to January of 2021. Yeah, that would suck really hard, but if the game comes out and it's amazing, worth it. Absolutely worth it. I am all about pushing a game back until it is finished. Completely done, finished, finito, that kind of stuff, instead of trying to make sure it hits that release date.
The only time where it becomes a problem is like when you run into like Duke Nukem Forever, where it becomes basically, it's pushed back for so long, it becomes basically vaporware.
Yeah.
Where it like doesn't exist, and eventually, when it does come out, it's been in development for so long that it
loses the identity of what it wanted to be in the first place.
The message of the original concept of the game becomes so muddled and mixed over years and years and years that it suffers for it. So I think there is sort of a cap on how long something can be delayed before it becomes almost unrecognizable.
Yeah, no, I agree. But let's move on. Just to take a little break from the delays. There are sources that say that Horizon Zero Dawn may be coming to the PC. The PlayStation exclusive, this is from Kotaku. The PlayStation exclusive Horizon Zero Dawn will be coming to personal computers this year, a source tells Kotaku. It's an unprecedented move for Sony that signals a future where the publisher releases games on platforms beyond its own consoles. It comes from 3 people familiar with Sony's plans, all speaking anonymously because they were not authorized to talk to the press. So this is just rumors. But this is like IGN has reported this, Kotaku, Polygon, all of them. And Sony did not immediately respond for a request for the comment. So pretty much is that it may be coming to PC. That's kind of the big talking points. It kind of, like, the article continues to talk about Horizon Zero Dawn as a game, and that this is kind of this is coming to PC itself. Now, we have seen Death Stranding is coming to PC from Kojima Studios, but this is also another in-house owned Sony studio.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't know. I can't really comment much about this because it is still...
It's a rumor.
It's very much a rumor, and it's not a well-sourced rumor at all. I mean, this isn't, they won't even name their sources here. This is very much, this is, that CNN-style journalism where it's like, we heard speculation of a rumor from a person that we can't name. I mean, literally anyone could say, I could say, well, there's a rumor that, we're going to get, another Deus Ex game in 6 months from now.
Yeah.
I have anonymous sources,
Watch you go ahead. I mean, mind you, you're making up the whole sources and stuff. But watch at E3, because we're 6 months away from E3. Watch at E3, they just go, Deus Ex. Bam! watch that crap happen.
I can.
And you'll lose your mind. I know that you will.
That would be hilarious. But it's like, I mean, I can't really even. I don't even like to comment on a story like this because it's so. There's no. It's just a rumor. It's just conjecture.
The reason why I wanted
we just went for a big rumor cycle actually because of a new character in Smash was announced and then all these rumors and what it and the funny thing about it was what did it go to show? All these rumors, all these leaks, it's going to be Dante, it's going to be Sora, or it's going to be this, and that. Everybody was wrong. All these leakers are dead wrong. Which just goes to show that you can't really trust or put any stock or faith in these rumors. Yeah.
The reason why I wanted to bring it up more, this is still news, but the reason why I wanted
to... food for thought.
It is food for thought. Again, this is a good talking point. Again, we're a talking show. It's a podcast. Hello. But the reason why I wanted to bring this up more is that, this game, if the rumors are to be true, this is the second PlayStation game, exclusive that's coming to PC, out like Death Stranding, and now it may be this. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, Death Stranding, I mean, it's kind of nebulous about what is actually a real first party,
game anymore.
Yeah, because from my understanding of Death Stranding, I mean, it's done by Kojima Productions.
Kojima, yep. Mm-hmm.
Sony obviously had a stake in this, but I mean, it wasn't 100% a Sony funded game. There was a separate
No, I do not believe that Kojima Productions is owned by PlayStation.
And that's the because we had another exclusive with Detroit that was also on PC.
Yeah, that was it. I forgot about that. Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, it'd be one thing for example, if God of War, for example, was on PC, or if Uncharted went to PC.
But Guerrilla Games is owned by Sony. Sony owns Guerrilla.
Yeah, but like I said, this is a rumor still.
Let's go ahead and take this as if this is happening. What again? I want to bring up the talking point about do you think this is okay? Do you think this is bad? Do you think how does this affect PlayStation? That. That's why I wanted to bring this up. That's why I wanted to bring up this talking point.
Think it's basically if they do decide to go in this direction, it's much like the Xbox. It kind of eliminates the reason to even own a PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Then just you go to what I've been saying. Just have a PC at that point. Because for a lot of my motivation, let's say for example they do decide to put God of War and all these other games on PC. Why am I interested in a PlayStation 5 then? What does PlayStation 5 do for me that my PC doesn't?
What I do find very interesting is if we take this at face value is that game is 3 years old. That's a 3-year-old game that has been on PlayStation. That game is at most $20, but it's $10 on sale. It's a $10 to $20 game. It's part of their greatest hits collection, hence why it's $20. It's a 3-year-old game, and now it says that it's coming to PC. So I don't see a problem with it because it's made all of its money when the game came out. Because with how video game sales work is that it just
but you can see what the problem would be if they establish a precedent where kind of with Xbox now where it's a day and date release it's also released on PC.
Mm-hmm.
But even if we establish all
the year after, 2 years after.
I think PC players. I think I would just wait for the PC port and just say, "Hey, thanks for beta testing for me." Now I can get the game with all the patches in it, all the DLC added. Thanks for beta testing. So I guess that would be my mentality. Why would I get it on day one when I know it's just going to come, not even a year later to my PC.
Yeah.
Or maybe eventually becomes day and date with PC, just like Xbox is.
Yeah, I mean, like, and we talked about this multiple times about, like, we were very surprised and taken aback when Xbox went, yep, they're now on PC. The Play Anywhere initiative, they called it, is that it's when it comes out on Xbox, it comes out on PC also. You can play it on both. You buy it on PC, you're like...
This seems like a losing strategy, though, for... Like, this is something like that Microsoft can kind of take advantage of because it promotes their Windows platform.
Yeah.
Whereas Sony, not so much. It's not their operating system that's being promoted by this. So I think the move away from... I think Sony kind of has to act sort of like a Nintendo, where they fiercely guard their exclusivity, and they have this as a driving point as part of their identity for the system.
That's a big reason why we love PlayStation. Is there, like, I mean, we love God of War, but, like, PlayStation very much is about, like, kind of one of their big pillars that they stand on, or like, is that it's single player narrative driven games. Like, that is what they continue to push with their big AAA exclusives. Days Gone, Death Stranding, Resident Zero Dawn, Marvel Spider-Man, God of War, Uncharted 4 are all single player narrative driven games. All of them, regardless of how good or bad they are. They're all single-player narrative-driven games.
They lose a good portion of their identity if these are just going to be something that you can just play on any system, essentially.
Yeah. But yeah, let's move on. Next is that the last of the delays, at least for now, Iron Man VR has also been delayed. This is just a tweet from Camouflage, which is the developer for Iron Man VR. In order to deliver our vision and meet the high expectations of our amazing community, we've made the difficult decision to move Marvel's Iron Man VR to a May 15th, 2020 release date, which was coming out in February. We truly appreciate the patience and understanding. You'll be hearing from us again soon. And that's from Camouflage. That's it. So that was kind of, honestly, Iron Man VR would probably be one of the few VR games that I would be like, yeah, I would buy a VR for this game.
I've kind of stated my opinion on VR before. I don't think the technology's there yet. And this is not a game for me. Obviously, I'm not a superhero fan. I have nothing but apathy for this news. I mean, it's just part of a larger trend for delays, but it's just not a game that I have any intention of purchasing or really looking into.
Yeah, and again,
if it's your thing, go ahead. I get great, but for me, it's hard for me to conjure any kind of emotion for it.
But yeah, I mean, again, it's just another game that has just been delayed, and it's been pushed into May, which also is when Last of Us right now it comes out also. Last of Us Part 2. So a bunch of PlayStation games come out in May.
Yeah, well, we'll see if those get delayed too.
So. All right, but let's go ahead and move into the main topic, our PlayStation conversation.
PlayStation.
All right, so we have gotten news. This is pretty much everywhere. But PlayStation has said to multiple news sources, but the first one, it seems like it's from Games Industry.
They told us first.
Yes. It's from GameIndustry.biz, but it's also from IGN, GameSpot, Polygon, all of them. Is that E3, PlayStation will be skipping E3 2020 this year. They put out a statement. Quote, after thorough evaluation, SIE has decided not to participate in E3 2020. We have great respect for the ESA as an organization, but we do not feel the vision of E3 2020 is the right venue for what we are focused on this year. We want to build upon our global event strategy in 2020 by participating in hundreds of consumer events across the globe. Our focus is on making sure fans feel part of the PlayStation family and have access to play their favorite content. We have a fantastic lineup of titles coming to PlayStation 4, and with the upcoming launch of the PlayStation 5, we are truly looking forward to a year of celebration with our fans. In the end quote, and that is from a PlayStation spokesperson. Now, there has been an update that the ESA has spoken about this. An ESA spokesperson, and the ESA is the organization that runs E3 every year. E3 is a signature event celebrating the video game industry and showcasing the people, brands, and innovation redefining entertainment loved by millions of people around the world. E3 2020 will be an exciting, high-energy show featuring new experiences, partners, exhibitor spaces, activations, and programming that will entertain new and veteran attendees alike. Exhibitor interest in our new activation is gaining the attention of brands that view E3 as a key opportunity to connect with video game fans worldwide. Okay, so let's go into this. We talked about this last year about PlayStation skipping E3 for the first time last year in 2019. And I'm like, okay, and that's fine. They want to. The big things that they want to, and the thing they even said in their statement is that they want to be at consumer events where E3 is very much for the press. Like, yes, they open it to the public for anyone to come in, but like, really, if you want to experience E3, you have to be part of the video game press, the video game media. You know, so that way you go to the press conferences,
behind closed doors stuff. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it's just, nothing lasts forever. So much has changed in the last 5-10 years. Like, I mean, it's just, I feel like everything about this industry is changing. But I think this is just another. I mean, I kind of saw this coming, I guess, in a way. I feel like this is kind of the shape of things to come. I mean, E3 used to be like kind of that mecca of what of the game industry. Like, it's something we look forward to every year. Now it's kind of become this fragmented, fractured thing where everyone's kind of doing their own thing now. It's really kind of becoming sort of irrelevant. Everyone's sort of doing their own events, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing or a good thing. It's just different. I'm sure like I said, Sony's going to be at a whole bunch of different events this year. They're going to have their own events that they're leading. I think there's kind of an advantage that obviously immediately from a monetary standpoint, they don't have to pay to be at an event at E3, but also they can kind of control the narrative. They can kind of control the news cycle. We talked about that before as well too. So I think, it makes sense. It is kind of sad to see E3. I don't really see much of a future for that event. I feel like Nintendo's pulled away a long time ago, and now Sony's pulled away. Who knows? EA is basically doing their own events as well too. Well, so it's like the relevancy of this event has really kind of waned. I don't see much of a future for it, really.
So with this happening, first let's kind of go through kind of what happened last year, because there was a lot of stuff that has changed E3 even last year. One, EA wasn't even at E3's own floor. It was at their home base. It was like where they do all their work, and that's where they did the EA Play. And we talked about that, kind of going over E3 last year.
Yeah, so not really even part of E3, doing their own separate event.
It was during that time. It was part of the E3 weekend or whatever, but like it was not at the building. It was not at the ESA. It was at EA's own place.
Yeah.
And the way they structured it was great. If you want to watch, it was like all the different games. They're going to talk about Madden, they're going to talk about Star Wars, and then you can pick and choose what you want to watch. Great, awesome. Microsoft doesn't do theirs at the E3 building either. It's at the Microsoft home base also. Microsoft is not so. Even when Microsoft does their press conference, that's at their home base also. They're doing it there also. That's where they have the big Microsoft showroom, I think it's called, or whatever. That's where they do their press conference. So really the only people that are there at the E3 building paying money to the ESA, is, what was it? We had Square Enix, we have the Nintendo Treehouse, we have Devolver, we have the PC Game Show. What else? Like, really, Ubisoft. Ubisoft is there. Although I think Ubisoft has their own place over there.
It just feels like the event itself is kind of. It's kind of sad to say it. It's really just I don't think it'll ever be what it used to be.
Well, also, there is one big thing that happened that was not good for the ESA is that over 1,000 members of the press, all of their personal information was doxed, meaning that so what happened is that you could go to the ESA's own website, you could see who was there, so like the media press, and you could see their actual real name with their address and phone number and everything on the site there.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like,
no, that's a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
Yes, it is.
We've all had our credit card information leaked.
No, dude, but that's not.
It's kind of like a whatever.
No, it's not, dude. That's not a whatever. How would you feel that
it's happened to me? It's happened to everyone.
But this isn't credit card information. This is where your address, your phone number, who you are.
These are all very public people, anyways. It's not really hard. It's not necessarily hard to find these.
They're public people, but
it's. Nowadays, how people self-dox themselves so much. It's. If you want to find something out about somebody, you can. Everyone has 25.
I'm not saying you have to go ahead and dig to do that. This was literally on the ESA website. It was just there. That's a problem. Where you can just go,
I'm sure thousands have died as a result of this.
No, I'm not saying that. But
what are they gonna do? Firebomb their houses? Who swat these?
There people? It's just I don't know.
I just think it's irrelevant. Who cares?
I'm not saying that is the reason. I'm just saying there's a lot of stuff. Also, E3, I have come to find out, is that it's really expensive now to even pay to just kind of have, your own space on the floor at E3, at the ESA building.
Well, that I understand. A lot of conventions are like that, where they really kind of gouge you on the prices. I guess I'm more so just lamenting the fact that, this was kind of something we all look forward to every year, and now it's kind of vanishing more or less. We're still going to have E3 2020. There's still going to be events and stuff happening around that time, but it was nice to have one centralized event that we could all kind of gather around for. And I feel sorry for you and everybody else, because I did get to go to E3. I was actually at E3 2011. So I actually got to experience it firsthand. It was really cool to be there, and that was back when E3 was still E3. And it was a really awesome experience. I recommend it to everybody. But now it's kind of it's sort of not really there anymore.
But the thing is that the thing is with E3, and again, it does suck. I'm going to say this right now. I will say it is really cool to see PlayStation there. PlayStation was always the press conference I look forward to the most. I still remember the E3 2013, the reveal of the PS4 and all of its specs. I remember E3 2016, where that was the announcement of God of War, Marvel Spider-Man, and everything. I remember that. I'm never going to forget that one. That was amazing. But I remember specific E3s, and PlayStation was always the one that I remember the most over everyone else because of how they even did it. Even the 2018 E3, regardless of what it is, it's still memorable.
Yeah, there was a lot of great and bad moments. Of course, there was also the infamous PS3 E3 with the $599 US dollars.
Look, it does suck, and I will say being nostalgic for it, would I like to see PlayStation be at E3? Of course I would. I would love to see that. But if I was in PlayStation minds, Nintendo is they do a Nintendo Direct, so they can go ahead and say what they want to say, and can control it in the way that they want to. Because when you do a press conference, stuff can go wrong, and we've seen it many times. So, PlayStation can do their state of play and kind of say what they want to say with that. Two, the other thing is
which is important because they've had plenty of blunders in the past, so it's worth having a kind of a place where you can kind of control the narrative and kind of avoid those mistakes and kind of sort of. I'm sure what Nintendo does with these directs is that they don't just throw them out in a vacuum. They have people watch them, review them. They probably have a consumer, like a test group that watches them as well too, to kind of gauge reactions for them. So it's very carefully calculated.
Yeah, and even the state of plays from one to the other to the next have been different.
They can see feedback, they can see responses to that. Whereas with a live event, there's a potential to say something really stupid and that have that be a problem.
So, and the one thing I will definitely say, like they said in their statement that they want to go to be more with the consumers, and they want to go to more consumer events, meaning PAX East and West, Comic-Con, both Comic-Con New York and San Diego Comic-Con. They want to go to, we live in Wisconsin, so Summerfest is the big, event that happens in Wisconsin. They show up, PlayStation shows up, and they're there also.
Thanks for doxing us.
Well, whatever.
Okay, ESA.
Shut up. Shut up. Whatever. We live in the Midwest, whatever. All I'm saying is, they want, PlayStation wants to go to where their fans are. They want to spend more time with their fans. And the one thing that kind of is odd about E3 is, when you go to E3, when you're part of, the press is the ones who are, the IGNs, the Polygons, the Kotakus, all of them.
I like to call them our enemies.
Shut up. They are the ones, and there's other people who get invited, and we'll probably we'll most likely be invited there sometime. Who knows? I don't know. But when it's only for the press, and then they open the doors on those last 3 days, because the press conferences are all in the beginning, and then you have those 3 days of it's the open floor. So the press is really there for the press conferences, and that's what we want that's what we enjoy, that's what we watch, that's what we get excited for. But the press is there, not really the fans. And yeah, they
well, it's more complicated than that, because E3's gone for a lot of changes where it was at first more of a closed door type of retailer only, press journalism only type of thing, to inviting in more fans, allowing in just regular. People that weren't connected to the industry.
Yep.
So it's the history's kind of complicated.
Yeah, but what I mean is that you have people who go to IGN or whatever, and they try to send their all right, you're a fan of PlayStation, you're gonna go to the PlayStation press conference. You're a fan of Xbox, you're gonna go. You cover Xbox, you're gonna go to Xbox. But Square Enix, Ubisoft, if you're not excited for the next Assassin's Creed or Skull and Bones for Ubisoft, or if you're not excited for the next Madden or Battlefield or whatever from EA or whatever Square Enix has in store, you're there because that's part of your job. Where at these consumer events at Comic-Con and PAX and these kind of things, people are paying money to go ahead and not only they're there to experience the entire convention. So your PlayStation can then talk to their fans on a more on a deeper level, on a more intimate level. Than they could at E3. And mind you, it's ridiculously expensive. So
yeah, I think it has more to do with they can kind of PR spin this however they want. I think it has a lot to do with the cost. I think they saw that E3 is it's an event that can kind of make or break things if you have a narrative that is not peer reviewed, like what we saw with Microsoft, or like we saw with Sony themselves with the PlayStation 3 debacle. So I think they realized that they're taking a cue from Nintendo here, that it's better to control the narrative and have a very and kind of take the risk out of the equation.
Yeah.
And plus, and at the same time, saving money. You don't have to they don't have to pay the fees to go to this event. They can make their own events and do their own thing. So it just makes more sense, I think, from a business standpoint to do that, which is what they at the end of the day what they care about. So. For us, I think we're the losers in this are us, the fans, because we lose this event that we really enjoyed. But at the same time, it will be. Our consolation prize is that we still will have events throughout the year, most likely.
But I don't think that's a consolation prize. I think it's just it's the perspective. I think that for me does it suck? Yeah, but now they can I remember at Paris Game Show. At Paris, at Paris Game Show, that was the announcement of Ghost of Tsushima. That was the trailer that I've been talking about. How what got me excited for that is that they showed that was the very first trailer of Ghost of Tsushima, and then that was when like I didn't know who was developing this. I was like, oh, this game looks cool. All right, I'm in. And then they showed Sucker Punch, and I'm like, well, I'm all kinds of in because of who's developing it. That's where we got the release date for Shadow of the Colossus. That's where we got another trailer for Last of Us Part 2. Like. That wasn't at E3, but that was a big talking point.
Like I said, I mean, we'll still have these events now, throughout the year. It just was nice to have this one time of excitement. It was sort of like a second Christmas in a way, in the middle of the year. I'm gonna miss that. It's just me being an old person, I guess, in that I don't want things to change. But I just think it was nice to have one centralized event where all the big players showed up. They showed us what they had. They laid all their cards on the table. This is what we're doing for the year. This is our plan for the year, and it was just really neat. I really enjoyed it. And now that looks like it's going to be gone, more or less. So, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we'll still enjoy the events that we get, but at the same time, I think some of the magic is gone. Of having that 1 week where we just learned so much and the news was just an overdrive. It was exciting. And I lament the loss of that. Especially having gone to the event myself and experiencing it firsthand. I'm going to miss that excitement.
Now here's the big thing that has been kind of been in the back of my head ever since hearing this is that in 2019, they said they weren't going to be there. And I was like, it sucks because it's the first time. And, like, they haven't said anything about, doing their own, like, PlayStation experience or whatever. So they're just going to be gone. They're not going to be at E3 2019. Now, they said, yep, we're not doing E3 2020 either because we want to do more consumer events. But this is the year that the PS5 is coming out. Like, we know it's coming out holiday 2020. That's what we know. And honestly, like if this would be the year where I would be like, all right, I would make an exception, show up at E3 and do it. Now, there's good and bads about that. It's good because that's when everyone's talking about you. That's the time everyone's talking about the systems and everything. But on the bad end is also that same good end, but you could also get lost into the shuffle of it, and yeah, I think that's it. And if there's anything else, I'll bring it up later.
Okay. My final point on it is just that it's sad to lose that week of excitement.
But like the point I'm bringing up is that like it's that. This is the year of the PS5. Do you think this is a smart idea for them to not do E3? Do you think this is a smart idea? Do you think this is a smart idea to do it? Now, I have come to find out that there is an event that's happening in New York right now from January 14th all the way up. It's like 4 weeks of PlayStation. It's only at one of the showrooms in New York. But there are articles about it. But like each week is about a specific year of a specific era of PlayStation. So the first week is PS1, second week is PS2, third week is PS3, fourth week is PS4. And the rumor is that leads into February. Because that's after the 4 weeks, and that's the rumored PlayStation event that they're
kind
doing.
of like a repeat of what they did before with the PlayStation 4 reveal.
Yes,
New York event. I mean. I don't think this hurts them though, because obviously from a business standpoint, they save money. I think they can really just do events whenever they want to. I think they can really kind of control the narrative that way. So I mean that was kind of the disadvantage at E3 was that you were expected to be there and you couldn't just have like another event, a few weeks later. You had to kind of plan everything. Everything was rotating around and orbiting E3. Now it's like, oh hey, I want to do an event in July. And kind of capture the narrative then. I mean, that could be part of their strategy too. Like, because they know Microsoft is going to be there.
Yeah.
They already said they're going to be. And they're obviously going to be talking about their...
Oh, Microsoft at E3?
Correct.
No, they have not.
I thought there was confirmation.
Nope. No one has said they're going to be at E3. Okay. Sony is the only one who's like, we're not showing up. No one else has confirmed it yet.
Okay, but so, I thought they had. But.
No, I mean, I would think they would, because now they're like, haha, we can be here. But, like, that's what I'm thinking. But, like, with honestly, we've seen the success of the PlayStation experience. Like the PlayStation experience that we had at the end of the year. So you would have a big convention for just PlayStation fans, where it was just, hey, we're going to talk about PlayStation and we're going to show off new stuff and new trailers and that kind of thing. Like, that was a big deal. What you doing? Are you looking up an article?
Yeah, they confirmed.
They confirmed?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Phil Spencer, our team is hard at work on E3. We look forward to sharing with all those who love to play what's ahead for us.
Where's it from?
This is from Fortune magazine.
Okay. All right.
That was January 14th. That was reported. And there's also multiple different sites. So
okay.
They are.
Okay. Well then, my bad. Okay. I didn't hear
because
about it.
I heard they came out like after this announcement.
Okay. And that makes complete sense.
So, but the point I was bringing up with that was that now Microsoft is doing this event, and Sony kind of knows that from a strategy, chess piece moving.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know that they're going to do their big spiel, in E3, so that we kind of plan around that. We can be like, maybe we do an event afterwards, or maybe we do an event immediately preceding it that sort of grabs that hype.
Yeah.
Or like it's kind of like what they did before. Maybe we do an event afterwards, and we can respond to it in a way. So I think from a strategy standpoint, this makes a lot of sense. I think it's a smart move on Sony's part. Because you can really control the narrative in a way.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this was an original idea by Sony, because like I said, Nintendo sort of started this. But you can really kind of control and capture kind of the news cycle of sorts.
Yeah. I mean, again, Sony even tested this with the PlayStation experience back in 2016. Like, I think it was like 2016.
They've sort of been doing this for a while. So.
And those have done amazingly well. Like, those have been phenomenal. And I will say I do miss the PlayStation experience. Like, having a press conference and stuff. Mind you, the last one they did, I believe, was in 2017, 2018. And it was just kind of a bunch of panels, which is nice if you're there. But for me, I'm like, I mean, like, this is great. And I'll watch this, like, later. But, like, live? I mean, but, like, the PlayStation experience is still something really, really good to have. And the event that they're doing in New York, this whole, like, 25 years of PlayStation, for like 4 weeks, like, that's really, really good. And there have been other leaks and stuff coming out on the PS5, and it's been coming out really quickly recently, and I believe it's because of this PlayStation event that they're doing in New York.
I mean, the other advantage too is that maybe we don't have to wait till E3 to know more about the next gen system. We might actually get some information well before then.
Well, I mean, mind you, we got the Series X at freaking the Game Awards. They just went
boom, very bizarre,
like that
non sequitur.
That was the one thing from the takeaway from the Game Awards. I'm like, what? Okay.
It just seemed really random. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And mind you, in a good way. Like, in a good way.
I don't know if it was in a good way, but that happened. So I don't know. Like, so in summation, though, like I said, I don't want things to change.
I know.
I don't.
You're an old man.
I don't. There's some things I have accepted. Like I said, I unlike you, I've really gotten into the digital thing. Like, I don't mind the digital game side of it. That's one thing I have accepted, which I thought I never was going to accept. But this is one thing.
I enjoy the ease of use of digital games. I
don't want to get off of that rant. I'm just saying as an example. But
you.
I think this is one thing where I don't want it to change, and I think we just have to accept that it is. So.
And who knows? Maybe we prefer this more as the years go by. Who knows? Because now they can put out more content when they want to, instead of heaping it into one time in June. They can just spread it out little bit by little bit over the course of the year, through these state of plays, through whatever.
Anything's possible.
So yeah, I don't know. Any other final words for this?
No. I at this point, I just kind of want to get some information on these systems, and especially PlayStation 5, because we know next to nothing about it. So.
I mean, we have the Wired article, but that's it. We don't really have finality. Like, we need some, like...
We need an event.
To
actually show us what it looks like.
I want to know,
specific details.
Great, we have Godfall.
Price point, release date. There's a lot of big question marks.
I would still do what they did in 2013, where, like, give us the specs, show us the games, show us the controller, keep that price point and all that kind of stuff later, because I don't know. That's what I would do. I think that they just did it brilliantly.
I'm not saying
in 2013 for the PS4.
I agree with that to some extent. I think what they should do is maybe over the course of 2 events, like, don't come out and just blow your mind right away. Just
maybe tease a few things and then have another event maybe before or after E3 and then have that kind of capture the like, okay, here's where all the hard details are. This is release date, price. This is what it looks like.
Yep. And games to be released at launch.
Pre-order now.
Yeah. Yep. That's I would definitely agree. But I don't know. They might actually do it earlier because of how it was hard to get PS4s and Xbox, even Xbox Ones at the time when it first came out. PS4s especially. When they showed up at Best Buys and GameStops and Walmarts and Targets, like they were gone.
That's most console.
I understand, but like if you if you announce it earlier, you do have a longer time to be able to kind of replenish yourself. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I could be wrong. Who knows? Maybe like they already predicted it, whatever. I mean, I would say that like, just for me, my closing thoughts is that I actually do not. It sucks that they're not going to be at E3, but I honestly don't mind because now they can do these like PlayStation experiences. They can do the state of plays. They can be at PAX and Tokyo Game Show and Paris Game Week or whatever. I can't remember what it's called, but like these fan-fueled events, and they can be there and it's on a more personal level, and they want to give their information to the fans, not through a second person where like, all right, we're going to tell the media and then they tell you. And like, that's what I'm expecting from this rumored February event, which if that's what's happening and that's what a lot of people are saying, I cannot wait for that. So great.
Agreed.
Sweet. Anything else?
That's all I have for now.
Great. All right. Well, guys, please let us know what you guys think, because there's a lot of information. What do you think about the delays of all those games? Cyberpunk, Marvel's Avengers, Final Fantasy VII Remake, all that kind of stuff. What do you guys think about PlayStation not being at E3? I don't even think they're going to be at E3 2021. Who knows?
I wouldn't bet on it.
I'd be more surprised if they do show up, but yeah. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let us know what you guys think. But if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/Brotherhood of Geeks. Press the like button and press the bell icon. That way, whenever you want to see a video, we put up a video. Yeah, there we go. I know what I'm saying.
Good idea.
Yes. Also, you can follow us on Facebook, which is facebook.com/The Brotherhood of Geeks. You can also follow us on Twitter at Dualshock'd BOG. That's the name of our PlayStation podcast, Dualshock'd BOG. And then you can also follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/Brotherhood of Geeks. Woo! Yeah. No, this is probably the most amount of news we've had this year. We're now kind of starting to build into...
It's that portion of the year where we're starting to kind of get all these leaks, and we know it's going to be a big year.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, 2020. I'm excited for 2020. Great.
Me too.
Alrighty then. Well then, I'm Brett J. Rasmussen.
Spectre.
And as always, live to play together. We'll see you guys next time.